10 minutes होने पास है. Good night, guys. It's me, Arati Gopal. And today I'm going to explain what is Flutter. Flutter is a cross-platform UI development kit which allows to build us UI in any platform, whether it's Windows, desktop, macOS, Linux, Android, iOS, or web. And we can build all of this, UI with just single code base. That's why Flutter is growing rapidly. Not only that, Flutter is powered by Google and it uses Dart as its programming language. And to be honest, Dart is one of my favorite programming languages because means Dart reduces lots of boilerplates from our code. Not only that, Dart has something called AOT and JWT. AOT means ahead of time, due to which when our app goes into the production, the codes necessary to run the code will be compiled ahead of time, which makes our app faster. Faster. Not only, not only that, Dart have JWT, known as just-in-time compiling. So we got an app, it get compiled, and we write some new changes on our code, and we hit Ctrl S. Then the new changes only get compiled and get pushed to our app, by which we can achieve fast reload. And that's why Dart is amazing programming language. Now talking about what is practice like. Now talking about what is stateless versus stateful widget. So in Flutter has three widget tree. First is known as widget tree, second is known as element tree, and third is known as render tree. Okay. In stateless widget, we only get access to the widget tree. And one of the rule of widget tree is that widget trees are immutable. What does it means that when we set a value of a variable inside widget, we cannot change it. We need to destroy that object and recreate another object. Whereas in stateful widget, we got control to the elementary, why which we can use method known as setState, which will reveal the change the element and blah blah blah. So that was what's difference versus stateless versus stateful widget. Now talking about which is better, it depends. Most of the time I recommend using stateless widget, but what I say is do not fear to use stateful widget. No, there are some guys who thinks that if I use stateful widget, my app will perform way slower, but it's just tiny changes. So do not fear to use stateful widget. Now someone may ask that whether we can use set state inside stateless widget. The answer is by the help of stateful builder, we can use set state inside stateless widget. But कति मिनट भयो
2
but
यता भने यस्तो भने मिनेट है
के भन्नु बोलाउनु हुन्छ but I did not like stateless builder, stateful widget builder, because
Okay.
what it makes is that it makes UI too long. Means
Oh,
in just one single Dart file there could be, if you use stateful widget builder in just one Dart file there could be thousands of lines of code. That's a dirty programming. Not only that, it also
3 minute.
it also make lots of coupling. There are lots of interdependence element. So most of the time why we use stateful builder is that there is some variable which we need to access from parent, and we find it's very hard to refactor. That's why we use stateful builder. But I always recommend do the refactoring. So it might refactoring is one of the for some of you it might be hard to do so,
Camera हेर्नु है
because there are lots of variable which is dependent on the parent class. But if we do it, it will worth the time in the future. ल पाउज कर फेरि अब कति मिनट
पहुँच कहाँ
future
So much funny, guys.
Now, what is element on a widget? So, what is element? So, element is a data on the widget at a particular moment of time. What is state? State is a data on a widget. State is a data on UI at a particular moment of time. For example, right now my app is loading. So right now the state of the app is loading, but after 2 minutes the app have fetched the app has fetched some data from the server. That means my state is not now loading, it's success state. That is what state is. So that's about Flutter. Now talk about keys. What are keys in Flutter? So Flutter have one efficiency algorithm. What it does is that whenever something is rebuilded, so a UI is rebuilded using set state. Okay, that means there is a widget tree and all of these sub child must be rebuilded. During rebuilding, what happens is that the child widget are simply a class and we are using some object of that class to render UI into the element. So, and what rebuilding makes is that we need to destroy all of the previous class and recreate a new class, which affects efficiency. The app will use lots of performance for that. So what Flutter does is that Flutter uses efficiency algorithm by which Flutter try to reuse the same widget
2 minutes.
given the condition that those widget have same runtime type and those widget have same key and by
Play
default,
second.
okay, do not pause, do not close. By default the key is null. So at 1 minute before, this is a widget
10 seconds left.
and do not pause, do not tell, I'm on focus mode. At a particular moment time the value of key is null and we hit set
Time
state.
over.
No, we hit set state and still the value of key is null. So Flutter feature reuse the same widget and that will not create a separate object, but if sometime we need to create separate object we can use key by which we will create different object. Now one thing to remember regarding key is that the key must not be duplicate, so we use some unique identifier. For example, there is country state and both uses key and sometimes and the key is country ID state ID. What happens is that the country ID is 1, state ID is
Play.
1, both ID is 1. At that case we might get duplicate key error. In
Play
this case
video.
what we should do is that we should use country then 1, country then 2,
5
and
seconds.
instead that country 1 country 2. In this way we will avoid the duplicate key. So that's all guys, let's meet in next video.